Blessings, Aquarius, and welcome to my channel. You are watching Spotless Mind Tarot. My name is Cassandra, and today I will be your tarot reader. In this video, we're going to take a look at the year ahead of 2025. I do apologize for how late these are. I meant to do Aquarius and Pisces at the beginning of this month here in January 2025, but it didn't happen. Here we are finally. And ironic enough, we are here on the lunar new moon. So this is the Chinese New Year. So maybe we're not late, as according to the moon cycle, this is the beginning of a new year. We also have the astrological new year, which starts in Aries season. So it doesn't really matter how you look at it. I like to think this time of year is definitely a turning point, especially since we are reaching halfway through the winter season. And so this is a very special and sacred time. Since I wasn't here for January, we're just going to get a recap of January to see what you could take away from this month. And then we're going to go ahead and look at February all the way to December. I'm going to pull one card for each month and we'll clarify if needed. There will be timestamps, of course, and this is good for Aquarius, rising, sun, and or moon sign. You're welcome to watch for your other placements, and it could go for tropical or sidereal, whatever resonates with you, whatever applies to your life. Go with it, okay? And if you don't know your zodiac sign, that's totally cool too. I'm sure you know what your sun sign is, and if you don't, there's the internet. You could find anything there and you could find out what your signs are. Right, so we're going to go ahead and shuffle. I already gave a good shuffle on the cards, so we're basically just gonna shuffle to pull a card now. Okay, so January, the recap on January, we got the World card. So there has been a major completion as indicated by the World card. I feel like a lot of you have completed a lot of projects or maybe a major project. So this is a turning point for you guys either way. Even if it doesn't feel like there was an ending, there's definitely something that's happened that has come to an end, okay? So it doesn't have to be like an ending in the sense that like you're ending a cycle or a situation or whatever. This could just be overall, this is the archetype of January, and I mean, we are at the end of January, so we're ending January, right? But I feel like with this card, it seems that you're letting go of a lot. It seems that I feel like you are letting go a lot, but you're still looking back at what you could have done. I feel like it's not like you have regret, but it's almost like nostalgia, where nostalgia, it's like you kind of get stuck reminiscing on the past and you kind of long for that and you wish that were the case again. So it's something like that where there's something that you're missing. Okay, so this ending could have been something that happened a long time ago and you're just reminiscing on it. Either way, there's some kind of completion here, some kind of something came to a full circle here. I feel like January was busy for you guys. If it's not so much physically, maybe mentally, maybe just your environment felt really busy, and maybe it seemed like you didn't have much time for yourself, or you did spend a lot of time with yourself because it was so busy. I'm getting mixed messages, and I do know quite a handful of people with Aquarius placements, so bear with me. I could get a lot of mixed messages because of that. I almost get a feeling like there's really nothing to be said either. It's like you are looking back on something, but there's nothing to be said. It could be something that you're even like, you're already over it, It could be something that it doesn't really concern you anymore, but you are looking back. You are reminiscing. again, more or less reflecting. It seems like you're reflecting on something here. And it seems like there's a culmination point in January with the World card. It's like everything that led up. It's everything that led up till now. There's something that led up to this moment. I'm also getting somebody is receiving an apology, or you need to give an apology. It could even be towards yourself, like forgiving yourself, excusing yourself, maybe even patting yourself on the back if there's something that was accomplished, if there's something that you've overcome. I feel like you had a lot of influence around you. There was a lot of pressure around you. But, the Aquarius that you are, it's kind of like it's just background noise. You might have taken what people said into consideration, but you know who you are, what you stand for. And so, like, all of that noise is like background noise. And there could even be some guidance, though. So there could have been people around you that have guided you, whether consciously or not. There could have been something that somebody did that inspired you in some way, or something that somebody said that inspired you. Okay, so we do have the 4 angels here, the 4 corners of the world, and they represent different aspects of this reality. Okay, they're even at the gates of heaven or the gates of God. From my experience, these 4 angels, that we have a man, a bull, a lion, and an eagle. I have seen these like in dream states and meditation. They're like, they remind me of like Egyptian statues where it'll be like an animal head and a human body. That's how I've seen them, like in dreams and visions. And they stand at the gate of God. They're like his bodyguards. Okay, so I do feel there was influence around you, and it could have been through other people. The universe could have worked through other people to help relay a message to you that probably wouldn't have reached you any other way. It could even be quite literal, like you could have received messages through a man, a lion, an eagle, a bull, or maybe these images appeared and they were synchronistic. There's even a sense of balance here, a sense of control. I do feel like you do have a lot of self-control. You do seem pretty rooted and grounded, but at the same time a bit more free-flowing. So you could have done a lot of work on yourself to where you're able to just kind of relax and go with the flow while still keeping control over yourself and your environment and like the situations you're in. So it's a pretty cool place to be in, I feel. And it's a good way to start the year and even end the year according to the lunar new year. So I think this is a good sign that you're ready to just take the next step. You're ready to go on and see what is out there, what else is out there. I'm also getting travel, because this is the world card. So traveling could be in your near future, or you could be making a really important trip sometime this year, or you already did in the month of January. Either way, I feel like the first card that starts the year for the first month can kind of give an idea of how the rest of the months are going to play out. Okay, I do feel like this energy is going to stick with you. I am reading this on January 29th, 2025, which is a new moon, lunar new year. But so the next 6 months could correspond to the world card, and everything that I've said could arise again in 6 months. So maybe in 6 months there will be a vacation, or in 6 months time you'll receive some kind of major influence, or even like a guru or something. Okay, so I don't want to dwell too much on January because the month has already passed, but that's basically the recap I got. So for February, we got the Page of Pentacles. And I find this really cool because we have the World card for January, which speaks of completions and endings, and even new beginnings, like starting a new journey after just completing one. And we've reached the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is a very curious individual, okay? This is somebody who is ready to set up a new foundation, who is ready to basically build a house. Okay, that's the best analogy I can give for the Page of Pentacles. He's got the first brick to lay down for his foundation, or in this case, a pentacle. Okay, so the pentacles are very solidifying. It's earth energy. It can be slow moving, but it tends to be slow moving in the sense that, you know, it's almost like nice guys finish last. It's kind of like that saying, you know, so for example, the Taj Mahal, I think that took like dozens of years. I don't know the exact amount of time, but I remember hearing like it took years to build that thing. And I don't know why I'm bringing that up. Maybe you'll take a trip to the Taj Mahal. Here in America, we were told, at least I remember being taught, that it was built for someone's wife. But I'm pretty sure it's a temple or right, like a mosque. So honestly, I don't know. So I do apologize, and I don't mean to offend if I'm getting it all wrong. Um, but that's what I was told. Like it was built, like the man built it for his dead wife or something, or for his wife, and then but like she died before it was finished or something like that, or it was like dedicated to her or something. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I was told growing up. And but I just remember that it's like there's something about it that like it took a really long time, and maybe even the guy who started building it didn't see the completion of it or something. There's something there where there's something there that has to do with the completion of it, and not being there for it. Okay, if that's not the case, that's the message I'm getting. Okay, but that is a very beautiful structure, and you could see how, yeah, that would take some time. I'm sure the pyramids were not built overnight, you know. I'm sure that took a very long time. And so it's almost like what you're building here is something very beautiful, something very grand, something that is like a statement or a staple. It is something that I'm also getting like it speaks for itself. And I am getting like a lot of beauty, because like the Taj Mahal to me is like such a beautiful structure. And then like the pyramids are very beautiful, right? And I'm sure they were just gorgeous when they were first built. Um, you know, just like so many other like ancient temples or churches or mosques or synagogues or places of worship tend to be just very like elaborate and just, I don't know, just very like aesthetic. Okay, so there is something aesthetic here. So for some of you, there's like a rebranding. This could be applied to your business. You could even be taking on like a new persona, a new identity, however that may be in your life, however that looks. Okay, I do get a sense of aesthetics and beauty here. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so what you find beautiful, another person may not find beautiful. And, you know, that's totally fine. It's almost like good and evil, where there is no good and evil. It's what we perceive to be good and what we perceive to be evil that becomes the definition of such. Okay. And you look at history, humans have done some crazy shit and justified it. You know, like the churches, Christianity in medieval times was pretty freaking wild, right? Let's just say it was pretty violent. And they justified it, saying, you know, this is like God's plan or whatever. But it's like they did some fucked up shit. Let's just be honest here. So, you know, it's really subjective. That could even be something that you're exploring with yourself, since I'm bringing it up. This could be something that you're thinking about in your life. Maybe there's something you thought was bad or wrong, and you're starting to see that, okay, maybe it's not bad, or I don't think that's bad or wrong. You know, society might, but I don't think that way. And so there's something there with that message here for February. That's something that could come up. But overall, with the Page of Pentacles, you are building something new here. You are eager to learn something new. I feel like you are laying the bricks down for a stable foundation, one that has a major statement in your life. So it could be something public, to where other people are going to see it and be aware about, or it could just be something really personal in your life, or it could be something internal. It could be your looks overall. But either way, there is just some kind of something new being built here. I also want to say education seems pretty important for February, so you could be going back to school, or for those of you who are in school, this could be a very pivotal month for you. Maybe something that you're studying that is really significant, or maybe something exciting happens in your studies. Either way, there is some education here, there is some beautifying and aesthetics here, and also just making a statement. But it's a statement kind of like the Taj Mahal, where it's a building, so it can't really talk, right? So it's like what you see is what you get. Like, that's the statement. The way the building looks, that's kind of like what it is. It's like unspoken in a way. So it's not going to be really loud unless people are looking and watching. Okay, I don't think you're gonna. For some of you, yeah, you might be announcing something, but I feel like this is something that's just gonna develop over time, and the right people will see it, which is interesting. I don't know why I'm channeling this. I think that's pretty much for February. I don't want to sit too long on it. I think the message got out. So for March, we got the Tower. And so that's really interesting because February, we got the Page of Pentacles, and it was all about building something new, making a statement, and working towards something that is essentially long lasting. And here comes the Tower. And I don't know, maybe it's gonna tear it down. Okay, it's kind of like I'm getting like the story of like the big bad wolf, and like how he blows down all the houses, and then like he couldn't blow down the last house because it was made out of brick, which is ironic because I said something about bricks last for February. So I feel like March could be testing the foundation you set into motion in February. Okay. And it could even be tied to January, because January we had the World card. And so that's all about completions as well as new beginnings. Okay. It's not the final card actually in the tarot, in the major arcana. The final card is actually the Fool, which is also the first card because it's numbered 0, and he can go at the beginning of the tarot or at the end. And so it signifies rebirth. Essentially, it signifies that endless perpetual cycle of reincarnation and all that stuff. And like the Ouroboros, same thing, same kind of concept of just like life kind of just repeats itself, or like life is a never ending cycle. March comes around, and I feel like the Tower is here to test your foundation. The Tower is the big bad wolf for you in March, and it wants to see if you're cut out for this. Okay, so it could even be something completely different. There could be something that comes up that's testing your grit, something that's testing your skill and your ability, as well as your strength, as well as like your character. I feel like your character is going to be tested. I feel like the universe is going to circle back on you and be like, remember when you said this? Okay, well, here it is again. Like, do you really mean that? Are you going to stand on that? Are you going to stand on business, or what? Like, what is it about? And so March is cool because it is a Tower, though. Things are going to fall apart. But what's great about this is it's going to get rid of everything that's weak and unstable, as it typically does. But I feel for you guys, it's going to really help clear the way for you. I feel like there's a lot of clutter around you, like in January and February. In January said there was like a lot of like noise, like a lot of activity going on around you, a lot of background noise going on. In March, I feel like that can clear away. I feel like people will kind of back up. So like if people were bothering you, or people were kind of like imposing their opinions and thoughts and ideas onto you, I feel like they're going to back away. We do have an eclipse in March. We have at least one eclipse, probably two. But as far as I'm concerned, we have a total lunar eclipse, to where the sun or the earth casts a shadow on the moon during a full moon, and it appears red, which occurs on March 13th. And I only know this because I was looking at the moon calendar yesterday. And so there could be something that comes up, something that's completed, because it is an eclipse. Eclipses tend to wash away things that are no longer a service. If I were you, because I'm bringing it up, I would be really cautious around March 13th because of the eclipse. I feel like you want to play it cool, you want to keep it safe. Okay, modern times they like to talk about like how eclipses, like, you shouldn't fear them. The ancient people fear them because they didn't know any better. But I think we should listen to the ancient people because they know what they're talking about. Okay. And if you look at like Babylonian astrology, they'll confirm that like eclipses are, it's a dark time. It's not necessarily like a time for celebration. It's a time for endings and for things to things go astray. And we had several eclipses in the past year that traveled across America. And like, I remember those eclipses, and on those days, like the vibe, the energy is so weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like there's a very thin veil in the atmosphere, and it's dark. Like where I'm from, we couldn't see it, so it really didn't like get dark. There's like partial blockage of the sun, but either way, like the vibes felt dark. Like it just, things seemed kind of muted. Okay. And things just, I don't know, things just seem weird. I don't mean to drag on about this, but that's kind of like the vibe for March. Like things are kind of like weird. Okay. I feel like you're going to come across some pretty interesting characters, some pretty weird characters, some people that there might even be some danger. So I do sense some danger for you guys. So please be careful with that. Do what you got to do to protect yourself, however that needs to look, whether it's physically, spiritually, whatever, mentally. I do feel like there's some threats involved here. It doesn't have to come from other people, okay? But there's just some kind of threat. There is some kind of there is unstableness in March because it's the Tower. So you do want to watch where you step because it could fall apart. Okay, the ground can fall beneath you, metaphorically. Hopefully not actually. Okay. Let's all be safe, please. Okay, it's definitely not what I want. I'm just channeling, so my apologies if like anything I say comes shocking or whatever. I forget too that I'm a Capricorn, so sometimes I say things that sound kind of harsh, but to me it's just like I'm just talking, like whatever. Okay, and it's not to be insensitive or anything. It's just, I don't know, maybe whatever. Okay. So yeah, I think the best part about March though is that what is not stable is going to fall away, and it's going to help you. You might have to rebuild. So whatever you start building in February, if it's not stable and it completely crumbles, don't give up hope. It just means that you need to start again, because that foundation you built isn't gonna work. It's not gonna cut it for what you're trying to aim. Again, we're going for statement here. The Taj Mahal, like I've mentioned, like, yeah, that's what we're going for. So that's what we got for March. For April, we got the Three of Pentacles. So this is cool because March we had the Tower and things kind of came undone, fell apart. Whatever you're building in February that isn't stable came undone. Again, like I mentioned, it doesn't mean to give it up completely. It means you just have to start over. And, one of my favorite quotes by Will Smith is, practice is controlled failure. And this is kind of like what this card speaks about. Not so much about failure per se, but practice, as well as teamwork and coming together to unite and coming together for a common goal. So maybe in February you were trying to do things alone, and in March maybe you realize that you can't do it alone anymore or at all. Maybe you do need help from other people. Either way, in March, whatever it is that this card is pertaining to in your life, it seems that you are getting a helping hand. You could even be receiving some advice from somebody. I am picking up on some kind of guru for you guys this year, some kind of spiritual teacher or life coach or mentor. I mean, it could be anybody. I even want to say it could be an animal. I mean, it can be, right? It could be a tree. I mean, I'm not here to judge, where you take your inspiration and your teachings from. Either way, you are receiving some kind of assistance, some kind of support. It could even just be moral support. It could just be like a networking, people that can help you, lead you into the right direction, people that can give you advice. Maybe these people do actually give you a helping hand and you do work together on some kind of group project, or you start to include people into your own personal projects. Okay. Either way, I feel like April's a good month to open up. It even is a good month to offer your own help and support to somebody who could use it. Okay. This could be at work. This could be family. It could be anything, however it's going to show up in your life. Okay. So let's see. This is represented by Mars in Capricorn. So again, this is still that energy of like long lasting support. It's because Capricorn, or even just Pentacle energy, Earth energy, is very long lasting. It aims to leave behind a legacy, essentially. That's kind of what Earth energy is. And if you think about it, the Earth is pretty freaking legendary. I mean, it's been here longer than any of us, and it doesn't need us. I think we forget that the Earth does not need us. I mean, maybe now it does, because if we were to disappear, like if all humans just disappeared one day, if you think about it, like, a lot of stuff's going to go astray. Like, who's going to run the power plants, the nuclear power plants? Like, at some point, they're going to melt down and fall apart. And so, like, the Earth needs us in that sense. So we don't, like, the shit we've left behind doesn't fucking fall apart and destroy everything. But even after that happens, if all the nuclear plants did melt down when we're gone, the Earth is going to reclaim itself at some point. And so I think it's a month for humbling, because I'm saying all this crazy stuff. It's a month for you to humble yourself and to know that maybe you don't have all the answers, and yeah, maybe you can't do shit alone by yourself, Aquarius. It seems like you're going to get the moral support that you need. Okay. It's a month for you to really connect with other people. It's a month for you to connect to other ideas and to be open to other ideas. So if there's something new that comes along, be open to it, be receptive to it. It is a time for you to kind of just accept and move forward with too. I feel like April, you're able to really, I feel like in April onwards, that's when things can really get going. So I feel like February, March, there's activity that gets the ball rolling. Okay, but there's a lot of disruption at the same time. And there's a lot of like figuring things out. There's a lot of like testing the waters. And I feel like that's going to happen this year. It's almost like it's going to feel like you're skipping steps, but I feel like you learn something in February that you're able to come around and perfect in April. Okay, especially after March when we had the tower and things fell apart and you had to get rid of shit that doesn't gonna work, things that aren't strong enough, things that aren't gonna solidify what you're trying to do here. April comes around, you're able to solidify it, you're able to upgrade. It's gonna take you guys a couple months to do whatever it is you're doing. So I think that's pretty cool. I feel like, again, April onwards, you're well on your way. We'll see what happens. There's gonna be hiccups, it's life, but I feel like everything I've been saying in this reading, like, we're going to be able to push forward and move forward. So that's for April. For May, we have the Empress. Okay. So May seems like a month where we're going to slow down a bit. Okay. We're going to slow down. I don't know why I'm hearing this. We're going to count our ducks. We're going to count our chickens. Okay. And it's funny because she is considerably pregnant. Okay, she's very fertile. I feel like April, you're able to slow down. I would say, if anything, it's more comfortable. It doesn't mean that like things are gonna slow down. Like, I feel like life's just gonna keep doing what it does, right? But I feel like in April, you're a bit more comfortable. I feel like you're a lot more sure of yourself and what you want and what you expect and all these good things. I also feel like you're going to have really strong boundaries in April. I also kind of am getting like something about cutting ties and letting people go. I feel like you're thinking about long-term plans and you're thinking about the kind of people that can come with you and who can't come with you. Okay. Not everyone can come with you on your journey. Not everyone can, especially because I feel like you're rising to some kind of success here, some kind of fortune. And, you know, the more people you have around you, the more mouths that need to be fed, essentially, metaphorically. Whether or not that's your responsibility to feed them. Okay. It just, you're choosing people wisely, people in your life. Like, who do you want to include into this, whatever it is you're building? Who do you want to include into where you're headed? If you know you're headed towards something good, okay, who do you want to keep in your circle now? Because you can't just let anybody in on your circle. They could easily ruin everything for you. Okay. The company you keep is really important. So that seems to be a theme here in April that you're thinking about, the type of company that you're keeping, the type of company you would like to keep. Okay. So I feel like you are going to have to cut ties with people who are just not good, or maybe they're just not in alignment with you. And that's cool too. Like, no hard feelings. We all have our own path and not everyone can come with you. Just like you can't go on their path either. They could be like people that like literally stand like behind you in the sense, like, or not literally, but like metaphorically, I'm getting it's like, you know, they're standing somewhere where they could receive your light without knowing. I'm getting it's like you're radiating so much light and they're standing in a place where they can receive some of that and they're secretly like taking it for themselves. You know, they're like energy vampires. Okay. So like these people, there could be literal energy vampires within your area, in your vicinity. So you want to be mindful of that, because I feel like there's somebody here who's really quiet about it too. Like you would have never guessed. Okay. It could be somebody, again, you would have never guessed they would do something like this. Okay. So that's going to be different for everybody. Apply it how it resonates. Okay. And I'm channeling. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay. As always, I never know what the hell I'm talking about when I do these readings. Okay. This is the future we're talking about, right? At the same time, I do feel like you are really comfortable, really self-aware. You're really determined, and you're just like waiting for the next move. I feel like April is like a month of leisure. I definitely don't get a sense of you doing this exactly, like sitting back doing nothing. I feel like you're still going to do a whole lot, but I do feel like you're going to be really comfortable. It's gonna come easy. Whatever work comes up in April, I feel like it's going to come easy, or it's just going to like come and go. Like it's going to be nothing. I meant May. That's what I got for May. We're talking about May here. So every time I said April, scratch that. I mean May. Oh my goodness. So maybe you're going to get lost the track of time in May. So be mindful. So yeah, that's what we got for May. For June, we got the Page of Cups. And so June is, I don't know, this is kind of cool. June seems pretty vibey. I mean, we got the water element going, and June is definitely, I relate it to like a watery month. It's a bit Piscean, okay? It's a bit dreamy, a bit creative. Um, but I wouldn't say like delusional too much. I feel like you're going to be pretty grounded, pretty rooted. Either way, the Page of Cups does speak about a new beginning of some sorts. It has a lot to do with your emotions and with your mind, and a lot of self-reflecting here. Okay, a lot of questioning yourself or questioning your existence. Okay, there's a lot of going over the details I'm getting. So this could be in the religious or spiritual aspect, or any other aspect in your life that is coming up for you at this time that's pretty important to you at this time. Um, I feel like for some of you, you're gonna be a bit distant or not really reliable. Okay, you yourself seem pretty grounded and rooted, but I feel like maybe too grounded and too rooted. I don't know what it is, but I feel like you're gonna be kind of wishy-washy, okay? And it could just be because you're just flowing, okay, and you're just so focused on yourself and your goals that you're not really thinking about other people. I mean, which is okay as long as you're not being neglectful towards other people. But if you're neglecting other people, then you're likely neglecting something within yourself, okay? So that's something to keep in mind. But it's just like you're unreliable because I kind of feel like you're just in your own little world. You're kind of just, and I don't want to say unreliable like in a negative way, okay? I don't see this as a negative thing because it's for your greater good that you are unreliable for some other people or a situation. But you do want to be careful, okay, especially if you cut ties last month and it's like other people are aware of it, okay? Like, and the people you want to keep around, you want to make sure that in some way that you want to let them know that you want them around in some way, and whether you are just upfront and direct about it or you just continue on with the relationship you have with this person as if nothing ever happened, okay? Because people are aware, people are watching. We got the world card for January, and it has the four angels of the four corners of the world. And I see them as like God's guardians at his gate. And so like you are being watched. It could just be divinely. I mean, the angels could be watching the higher, whatever it is. Like there's so much out there in the world, like I believe the planets are gods. And if maybe not so much real life like gods, archetypally they're gods to me. I mean, rightfully so. They're named after Greek gods. I mean, it's just kind of like a no-brainer, right? Like there's a reason why the planets are named what they are. I think we should pay attention to that and to the mythology of those names and those and whatnot. But anyways, I feel like going back to what I was saying, it's like, I kind of just, I don't know. It's just really interesting vibes going on with you guys. It is very Piscean. Like you guys are, the thing about Pisces, which I'm really familiar with because I'm a Pisces moon. It's we are in our own world. We are in our own heads, and so so often we forget that our world isn't the world. And we can get lost in life, and we could also be delusional, and that's where the delusional side of Pisces comes in, or if even Neptunian energy comes in. It's like you can make up and imagine anything. You could perceive life in any way possible. We could justify bad things because it was whatever, like revenge. People like to justify revenge and think revenge is totally cool and normal, but you know what I mean? Like, so it's like you kind of create these constructs of reality that fit to your existence, that fit to your frame of consciousness. And so it's easy to forget that there's a whole world out there, that society doesn't necessarily see it the same way you do. And that's fine too. But I think that's the challenge of living a spiritual life, especially in the modern world, especially in Western society, especially in America, where it's like essentially you got to go work and pay taxes, however that looks in your life. It's not very spiritual to do such things, right? It's not very whatever of you to do that. And so like that's the reality of things. But like you could have your own world within yourself that is completely opposite of that reality. And like I see that reality as a matrix. I think going to work paying taxes is bullshit. Like this is a matrix, but that's just me. Some people think this isn't the matrix. They think something else is the matrix. And so yeah, I don't mean to drag these messages, but it's just like that's kind of like the nature of June here. It's kind of just like maybe you're going to come across individuals whose worlds are completely different than yours, and for some reason you have to adjust to that. You have to work with that. So it could be like a coworker that you're working on a project with, and like they're just so different than you and think so different. And it's like, how are we going to see eye to eye when I can't even see them, you know? And so it's something to work on in June, I feel. Okay, it'd be interesting to see what comes up, because I'm recording this in January, so this is pretty far out from us, and so it'd be interesting to see what actually does come up in June for you guys. You know who you are, you know what you stand for, you know what you believe, and you know the world that you live in, and that's going to be challenged in some way in June. Okay, or maybe your challenge is to somehow make that like the reality, okay, at least in your life, to where it's like, you know, to where you can live to your standards among society, which is really deep. It's a really deep message. It's like, you know, you're trying to make your world the world. Okay, so there's a lot of alchemy going on here. There's a lot of like, maybe even like timeline jumping. Okay, there's a lot of like just implementing something into the world. It's very powerful. It's very magical. Okay, it's some magi shit right here. It's gonna be different for everybody how it's gonna look. So that's what we got for June. July, we got the Queen of Pentacles, and so it's like a complete opposite to June. And you know what? You guys aren't the first. There's several signs where there's something happening in June, man. And I forget already. Like there's some astrological shit going on, but like there's something going on in June and July where people are just making like a weird transition. And maybe there's going to be like a legitimate timeline jump where we're all involved instead of like certain individuals, you know. That seems to be the case. Like some people do I'll see groups of people timeline jumping, and like I'm just like, what are you? I'm doing the John Travolta. What timeline jump? Like I didn't feel anything. And then there's times where I feel a shift, and other people feel it, and then many more other people don't feel it. So we all jump timelines and have different experiences at different times. But I feel like in June, July, I feel like we're all the world. It's like the COVID thing where like it affected the entire world, which we could look at the astrology of that too. Like there's a legitimate reason for that. It has to do with Pluto and Saturn coming together. Pluto and Saturn conjunction in January 2020. Okay, that it came together. The date it came together was maybe not the exact date, but it was around that time we got the first announcement of the first victim to COVID, essentially the first death of COVID, which I think I'm going to get in trouble by YouTube for saying that word so much, the C word, whatever. These aren't monetized anyways. I'm not making any money. But yeah, like it was like the first person to die from it was announced around that conjunction, which is crazy. But that conjunction also happened with the sun involved, and the sun is the self, it's the ego, it's the individual, and so it affected the world because of that. Looking back at other conjunctions of Pluto and Saturn, like similar things occurred, but it wasn't the entire world. Okay, so something's happening in June. You want to watch the sun and what aspects and conjunctions it's going to make in June, because honestly, I feel like there's a huge shift, and it's interesting that I pause to talk about it with you guys, because Aquarius is, you guys are very powerful. Pisces is like seen as like, oh, like, you know, they're like the ideal zodiac in this, like archetypally, because it's the last sign and it has like all the knowledge of all the signs, and it's so ethereal, and it like, you know, it's just dreamy, and it's just like perfected, right? Aquarius is a water bearer, and if you look at the story of like Prometheus and all that, like Aquarius gave humans the fire, okay? Like you gave us the knowledge. And I always seen Aquarius's, at least archetypally, as like angels, but like archangels or like celestials, to where it's just like, you guys like it's really karmic being born as a Capricorn, and rightfully so because of Saturn. But like Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn, and like you guys have like a karma that's it's so different, because like Capricorn karma when it comes to Saturn fucking sucks. Okay, like it's like the worst end of the stick. Okay, like we're Saturn's children, but we're Saturn's like naughty children. Okay, and then like Aquarius is, it's like, it's funny because Aquarius is traditionally or modernly ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is grandpa. Like Uranus is the dad of Kronos, right? I'm pretty sure, but even just like overall, like archetypally, like Uranus is the grandfather. Like that's the supreme father, right? And Kronos, Saturn's just like, you know, the guy who inherited it, right? The fucking Nepo child. I can't believe I just called Saturn a Nepo child. But anyways, so like Aquariuses just have that certain something to them. They're like Saturn, or they're like Capricorns, but like a step up from Capricorn, which is really bold to say, because Capricorn will die on the hill that they're the only one at the top of the mountain. You guys, like, okay, so Capricorn's at the top of the mountain. You guys are in the fucking cosmos. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are the stars. Like, I genuinely feel that. Like, there's something about Aquarius people and people with Aquarius placements, even as a rising sign. Like, there's something genuinely really special about you guys that's so unspoken and maybe even gate kept. And so I kind of feel like it should be gate kept. I feel like it should be unspoken. I feel like it's not like it's a secret. It's just kind of like you know, it's like as above so below. It's kind of just unspoken. Like you there's, I don't know how to explain it. I hope it makes sense to you and resonates. So I'm just trying to like emphasize like how I feel about Aquarius as far as like how I see it in the astrology and all that good stuff. To where it's just like you guys are really special, okay? The last 3 signs of the zodiac are very special overall, but like there's something unspoken about you guys. So anyway, July, we got the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles is cool because she's standing on business. All right, I feel like all that wishy-washy shit from June is in the past, and July, it's like time to pop out. Okay, it's so funny when I say slang words in my readings. Yeah, like July seems like you're gonna be able to. People could take you seriously in July, okay, and you're gonna take yourself seriously. Although you have been taking yourself seriously this entire time, okay. I feel like July, it's reminiscent of the Empress card. When did we get the Empress? In May we got the Empress. So May and July could be connected, but it's like an upgraded version of the Empress is what I'm getting, because this is a queen now. You're no longer Empress, now you're a queen. And the Queen of Pentacles is ruled by Capricorn, which I was talking about a moment ago. And so yeah, Capricorn could be really significant if you have Capricorn placements, or there's a Capricorn in your life, okay. Or just look at where Capricorn sits in your birth chart and look at Saturn's, because that's the ruler of Capricorn. It's always important when you look at your chart to look at the signs and then the rulers of those signs, okay. Some of you could be having your Saturn return this year. We have Saturn moving into Aries, from Pisces to Aries. There's something going on in June. I feel like all the planets are going to be changed, because that's a big thing that's happening this year, is that all the outer planets are shifting into a new sign. I'm pretty sure, right? There's a lot of activity going on in Aries. So Aries seems pretty important here. You're going to have Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So yeah, July, just look at Aries and Saturn. Let's just say that. Okay, let's move on. I also feel like there's going to be some opportunity to showcase your skills and your talent. I feel like you could really be confident in the work that you do and the person you've become, in your beliefs and foundations, because that seems to be something that's getting tested this year, is your beliefs and your foundations, your whether you're religious or not, spiritual, not spiritual, whatever. Even if you're just an atheist, like just overall your beliefs. It could even just be like your morals, you know, your own consciousness in general. So consciousness has nothing to do with religion, spirituality, nothing. It got nothing to do with nothing other than just consciousness is consciousness, and it comes from a higher place. And so things could be shifting in the mind. Um, I do get a lot of confidence in July, a lot of like being sure of yourself and reconnecting to something within yourself as well. There's something coming up with that, okay? Work and business, career, vocation, legacies, your what you want to be known for, 10th house kind of stuff, is pretty important in July. So there could be a lot of focus around business, or you know, just like a lot of activity going on surrounding such things, such Capricornian stuff. Okay, so that's July for you guys. Let's go ahead and look at August. For August, we got the Seven of Swords in reversed. Okay. My stomach is growling. So I'm getting, it's, I hate when I hear this because it's so corny, but it's all, I always get like reverse Uno, or they're like the reverse card in Uno. Not always, but a lot of times when I get like reversals, it's something I hear. So there's something, it's funny because this has a lot to do with karma. This has a lot to do with doing things for your benefit that puts others at a disadvantage, okay? Because he's stealing, right? He entered a village, all right? There's some tents in the background. He entered a place that he doesn't belong, and he's taking these swords and he's grabbing as many as he can, and he's fucking tiptoeing away. He's fucking skipping away. And you know, what goes around comes around, right? And so because it's a reverse, what goes around comes around. It's reverse Uno time, bitch. And so this could be on you, or this could be on other people that have done you wrong, or people that don't take you seriously, or people who just undermine you. Okay, I feel like the karma is coming back around either way, whether it's on them or on you. So if it's on you, the best way to deal with fucking bad karma from experience is to just accept it. Accept that at some point you did something wrong, which is easier said than done because there's some shit I can't accept right now that I'm going through. Whether or not it's your fault, it doesn't matter. Whether or not you know, you knew any better, whether or not you had to do it for your own good, it doesn't matter what the reason was. It doesn't even matter if you knew what you did wrong, or if it was something in a past life, or some like whatever. Like there's shit that I experienced that I know is karma, but it's just like I don't know what I fucking did wrong to deserve it, you know. And um you know, maybe if somebody, God or whoever, were to like explain it to me, like this is what you did wrong, I still wouldn't be able to understand it. You know what I mean? Like maybe it doesn't make sense to me. So like it thing with karma, especially bad karma, and especially when it comes back onto you, because you know we have to admit that we're all not perfect, and bad karma comes back onto us all the time, whether or not we like to admit it, whether or not we fucking do everything we can to be good little angels, right? Doesn't matter. You know, you have to just accept it, and accept that this is your fate, and this is your doing, whether it was conscious or unconscious. You know, I also feel like there's karmas that aren't necessarily our doing. It's just something that happens. You know, things happen to us, and as a result, we react or do something, and that can create bad karma for us, right? So, like I said, it doesn't matter what the reason was, or why you did it, or why you didn't do it, or you know, I think there's a major lesson in August, though, when it comes to karma, And, you know, we do start August with Leo, which is your opposite sign. So you want to look at Leo in your chart, and maybe you could see where this is coming up for you guys. You know, or you could be dealing with a Leo. This is moon in Aquarius too. So if you're moon in Aquarius, I'd watch out, because this is probably heavier on you than it is going to be like on Aquarius suns or risings. The thing about bad karma, though, what I really want to say is that it's an opportunity to clear the debt. Okay, it's an opportunity to wipe the slate clean. And how you do that is, it's dependent on the karma. Okay, it's dependent on what is required of you. Okay, what is being asked of you. Only answer to a higher divine being when it comes to karma. Okay, it's the only one you have to answer to. Whatever you believe, God, whatever, it doesn't matter. Atheist, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. Give it all to a higher thing. Okay, in the sense that, you know, don't look at this material physical reality and like point the finger and like, well, they did that to me, so I did this, and, you know, they deserve the karma, not me, because they hurt me first. But it's like, that might be true. Maybe they do deserve it because they're the ones that did it, but that's not what happened. You know, you got hurt. Okay, and so it's something you have to sit with. It's a bed you have to lay in. And it's not fair, maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe you did something, like I said, to deserve it. And it's not about deserving it or not. It's I don't know. It's just what it is, what it is. It's, you know, earlier in the reading I was explaining how, you know, good and evil is perception. And, you know, it's what we think is good and evil. Like I said, the Christians in the medieval times were fucking terrible people. They had some horrible things. They really violent shit. I mean, look at the Crusades, for crying out loud. Everyone in Europe was a pagan. Okay, everyone in Europe was a pagan before Christianity, and the Christians came in, the Catholics came in and made everyone convert, or they killed everybody. Bad shit happened in the name of God for the greater good, whatever. Maybe it was, maybe it is for the greater good. I don't know, right? Like, whatever. They didn't deserve it, right? I mean, I don't think the pagans deserved what happened to them, but maybe they did. But it's just like, it's the same situation. I feel like that could just be what it is. Like, something happened, and it's like, it wasn't initially your fault, but you have to take the fall. So this is a really deep message for you guys. Like, and I keep just looking at the time, like looking at the clock for some reason. It's just, I mean, the time's now. So I think the point of this message is that you need to clear the karma that comes up, good or bad, whatever it is. It's not necessarily a time to create new karma. It's not like a time to like redeem yourself or anything. It's really a time of acceptance and of letting go. However you're going to let go, it's up to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to go about doing the work of clearing your karma. Whatever you do to clear karma, do it. Okay, and if you don't know how to do it, trust me, you'll do it. Okay, because it's coming up in the reading, and that's the message, is for you to clear it this month. Okay, so just be really mindful of that. August is really pivotal, really major. The summer's so pivotal for the collective, man. I don't know what's gonna happen, but like in the world, like something in the world's going to happen. Like, I genuinely feel that in the summer, and it may not happen like all at once. It could just be like a domino effect of things happening. You know, but just something collective, and maybe it could just be like on a very spiritual, like consciousness level or whatever, but something's happening. And for you guys, and if you remember everything I said about like how I feel about your archetype and what Aquarius represents, like, it's a big deal, because you guys are quite a big deal, honestly. And don't let that go to your head. Okay. This is Leo season. Don't let it go to your head that you're a big deal. But I mean, archetypally you guys are, because of the energy you carry and what you guys do. You guys are revolutionaries, essentially. You guys are the future. Okay, that's what Aquarius represents, as the future and future ideas. And it is about the collective. It is looking after everybody, giving space for everyone to be themselves and all that good stuff. Like it's Aquarius is such a very special sign. It's just an archetype that I really respect, much like Capricorn. But and maybe it's just that Saturn shit. There's another sign, and I can't remember, but there was another sign that I felt was like really leading the way next year or this year. I can't remember what sign that was, but that's another sign I feel is working side by side with you guys archetypally. That you guys are paving the way. You guys are going to lead us into the future. All right. So that's what we got for August. I think it's interesting how it did take me a long time to get to you, and I still have to do Pisces. I'm gonna have to do them another time, hopefully tomorrow. But like, it's interesting how like you guys have such a long reading, and like, you know, I said that you guys are really gonna like pave the way for us. There's something really important happening. You know, you guys are laying foundations right now that I think not only benefit you personally, but it's somehow it's going to affect everything and everyone around you. Okay. And look back at June. Okay. Look back what I said in June. Okay. So we got the 5 of Swords for September. So this is like the storm clouds passing through. Okay. The damage has been done. The battle has been fought. It's time to go home. It's time to clean up our mess. It's time to pick up the pieces and start over. Okay, so I find that really fitting after everything that just happened in August, that September is a month of clearing. So I told you to clear your karmic debts in August. Okay, I feel like September is when it's and so in August, maybe it's to accept the karmic debt, and then in September, it's to clear it. Okay, it's to just I feel like some of you really struggled, honestly. Some of you guys are really struggled, and others of you are kind of just letting bygones be bygones, essentially. Either way, September is a month of healing. It is a month of clearing the way and giving yourself space, allowing space and holding space. I get a sense that for some of you, you guys are really beaten up. Okay. You guys are just like, you're probably gonna be depleted of all energy. Like you're just like, you guys really went to battle. You guys really had a fight. Okay. Metaphorically or something in your life, you had to fight for it. Okay. Or fight through even. And so September, there's a relief, okay? But for some of you, you have to go a little bit deeper, okay? And to get that relief, okay, you're gonna have to dig a little deeper. But overall, it's promising because it's like, you know, the storm clouds are clearing. You know, I love this card because it's you know, it comes before the 7 of Swords, but you know, it just speaks of that letting go process, and just that like there's a lot of accepting that needs to be done, and it's definitely not easy for everybody. You know, it's not easy to walk away and see people walk away at the same time. It's not easy to let someone go. Okay, it's not easy to accept what is no longer familiar, what is no longer available to you. It's not easy to accept injustices in the world. Okay, so I feel like September is a month to really get quiet, okay, and really just tune into yourself and tune into you know, it does say something about being familiar, but I am just hearing it's time to tune in something that's familiar. I feel like you can find solace in a person. Okay, I feel like this is Venus in Aquarius, so maybe somebody with Venus in Aquarius, or maybe if you have Venus in Aquarius, that you're healing this Venus in your chart. Okay, everything Venusian, everything related to Venus, relationships, beauty, aesthetics, luxury, the way you feel, comfort, security, safety, all that stuff. You know, those things I think are healing. Those things are coming up in September. So it's such an interesting feeling because, like, on one end, it's like there's defeat. It feels like defeat, but then, like, on the other, it's like there's like a refreshing feeling. So it's gonna be a very mixed month, okay? And it's gonna be different for everybody. I feel like for some people in September, like, you guys are just really burnt out. You're really just like, you guys really took a beating because your karma just it just was, right? It's hard to put into words, honestly. Okay. You might even feel a bit abandoned, and you might even like want support, but nobody's really there. Like, you turn around and people are walking away. Like, you know, don't take it personally. Maybe you should. I don't know. I just, it's hard because, like, September is just like there's something really important here for you to accept and to let go of. That's like basically all I can really say. Okay, that's like the best way I could describe it. So that's what we got for September. Let's just clear. We had to clear. And suddenly the volume in my room dropped. Like dead silence. I have singing bowls playing on my TV, but it definitely feels like I'm getting a phone call right now. But I felt like the silence in the room completely dropped. So I think this is necessary to sage right now. Sage your reading. So for October, we have the Three of Cups. Oh, what a relief, man. What a relief. That saging definitely helped. But even still, it was interesting because when I was saging and I said, like, the sound in the room like dropped. Okay. I mean, like, my singing bowls are going, I could hear the cars outside, but like the atmosphere like dropped. And September is pretty rough. Okay. But I feel like that feeling I got of like the drop, right, was like the nail in the coffin, or like the nail in the door. Like, it's the final. And now I'm thinking about the Disney movie, The Prince of Egypt. And they did the scene that's in the Bible. And I remember in the story in the Bible, and I thought it was like this is such a dark story. Like, there's a lot of dark stories in the Bible. I mean, the book of Genesis, for crying out loud. Some crazy shit going on. But yeah, the story with Moses, though, where like people, what do they put the blood of a lamb on the door, and it protected them from, in the movie The Prince of Egypt, it was like a light that came around and snuffed the life out of people. And like, people who smeared the blood of a lamb on the door were protected. I got that visual. Okay. So there's something here with that message, whether or not you're religious, because I'm not Christian or anything like that. You know, but these are really important stories. You know, it's good to be open to religions, even if you don't subscribe, or even if you do subscribe to one religion. You know, I know Christianity says not to look at other religions, but it's good to keep an open mind because there's stories for all of us. Essentially, you were saved. I guess we could say, right? You were saved. You are saved. You are chosen. You're chosen for something, as we all are. But something really important and pivotal is happening for you this year in October. I feel like you could finally celebrate it. You could finally see what it is So for some of you, you probably are in the dark, or like you don't really understand what's happening, or it's just like there's just craziness going on, right? And my laptop's about to die, so hopefully we can get this done. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to turn off my mic and plug it in. I don't know. There's just something really deep and profound happening for you guys. I'm just keeping it real. And October, if I could just focus on this card, there's something to celebrate. There's something to know that you've overcome something really pivotal, really major. And October, it's a time to see the fruits of your labor, essentially. So even if it's not like a month of like celebration and like partying and being recognized or whatever, it is a month for you to rejoice. It is a month for you to see the fruits of your labor, to understand or at least see the results of everything you've been doing. Okay, so even if you don't understand the reasoning behind life and why we do what we do and why we're here, I think you're able to see something. Okay, they say seeing is believing, but sometimes it's hard to believe what we see, and other times it's hard to just accept it, or it's hard to perceive it in the right light, in the way it's meant to be perceived. And so I said something about gatekeeping, so that's like another word coming up. There's a purpose for each of us, and we live in a society, especially with social media, to where people are pretending to be something they're not. There's a lot of, what is that called, what is it, imposter syndrome. Okay, I think it's natural to experience that, especially as you're discovering yourself. But there's a lot of imposter syndrome. There's a lot of people doing things because everyone else is doing it. I won't name the app. There's a famous app out there that everyone whatever is crazy about. And I mean, granted, there's good stuff on there and there's really like informative shit on there. There's still a lot of garbage. There's still a lot of, and in garbage in the sense that people are just doing things. And it's like, there's so many videos I come across on social media, and it's like, what are we doing? Like, there's a lot of videos that make me question like the state of humanity, because there's always like dumb shit going on in life, and people are having fun and whatever, right? I'm not here to judge that per se. It's just like, when you look at the big picture, it's like, what are we doing here? Like, what is the point to all of this? What is the end goal? What is the end game? I see a lot of videos and it's like, what's the long term behind this video? Like, I feel like there's a lot that's just being done because it can be done. Okay. And I don't know why I'm bringing this up for you guys, but there's a message there. Maybe you really relate to that message. Maybe it's something that you're experiencing. It's like, why do we do what we do? Why do we go through what we do? I feel like October could be a month, because I'm saying all this deep shit, like you could have some kind of awakening or some kind of ascension or evolution within your own consciousness, within your own being. This is a card that typically talks about like coming together and rejoicing and stuff, but I think it's so much more than just coming together and rejoicing. Like, I feel like there's something to come together for a greater good here. Okay, whether or not you actually like get together with people and do all that, I think just overall within your being, within your essence, you're able to maybe see the world for what it is, in the sense that, like, I don't know, I can't answer that for you, what that means to you or whatever, but it's and I don't want to like bring up like purpose and the meaning of life, because it's like, it's so beyond that. Like, we're all struggling to find out the meaning of life and why are we here. I definitely struggle with that. And like, who is God, and do other gods exist? And it's like life is so much more than just God, and more than just the Big Bang and like dinosaurs and humans and evolution and religion and science and satellites, and but like it's so much bigger and deeper than that. And it's like this is just one aspect of that creation. When you look at the universe, it's just like this is just literally like a drop in the ocean in the cosmos. That's literally what we are. We're a drop in the ocean in the cosmos. This isn't the only reality. Granted, it's the reality that we have to live with and deal with because that's the nature of things and we're here. And so it's like you got to take it serious in the sense that, like, well, this is the life you're living, so you might as well be present for it. But at the same time, it's like, you know, why take it seriously if we're definitely not the only ones, you know? I mean, hold on a second, I gotta plug in my computer. I gotta plug in my computer and the video stopped recording. I swear to God, I thought I lost the entire video. Oh my goodness, I didn't. It saved it, but it was just like it stopped recording and like I don't know, I just freaked out for a second. But anyways, and because I got interrupted, I think it's kind of like a sign I need to shut up now. But you guys get it, and I don't mean to get so deep on you guys, but I mean, if it's coming up in your reading, then you guys should be resonating with it in some aspect. Um, I just think it's really important. Everything I've been saying, and like what it is you're going through, is really, really important. And I'm gonna be so excited to see what actually happens because I know so many people with Aquarius placements. So and even if they don't watch this video, like I'm still like I want to see what's gonna happen for them. Because it's you guys and another sign. I wish I could remember what the other sign was, honestly. But like I want to guess it was a fire sign. Maybe it was Leo. I don't know. But it was just like they were so pivotal and like on a collective scale, not just in their life. Like it felt like this year they had a higher purpose in the sense that they had more work to do than just on themselves. And so you guys, it's the same thing. You know, it's like there's so much more you guys are doing. Like even if like you just wake up and go to work every day and like that's your day and like you just kind of like keep living life and like you know like you just you know you eat McDonald's every day like it, you know whatever like you let's say you don't have any spiritual practice like you're just a regular person like you know I mean we're all regular people like it doesn't matter like that doesn't matter. I think it's really just your essence and then just like I think what matters is what you're actually doing. So yeah, even if you are waking up and going to work every day and like that's your life, it's like what you're actually doing while you're at work, while you're out in the world. It's like you're you just have such a major influence in the world right now at this time, and it's 12:21. I know I keep looking at the time anyways, but you know I am catching these numbers. That's all I'm gonna say because this is a really long video. And it can go deeper, but I think we're just gonna keep it as deep as we've gone it because we'll be here all day. So let's go ahead and look at November now. Oh, so for November, we got the Three of Swords. I can't remember what other sign got this. I want to say it was Sagittarius, maybe Scorpio. I know it was a sign I recently got that got this. Either way, that doesn't really matter. I just something I want to bring up. But the Three of Swords, there's no really getting around this card. Okay, it is what it is. It is what you see. We could try to divine it into other meanings, but it's difficult. No matter how you look at it, this is a difficult time. So November could be a difficult month for you guys. It could be very emotional. It could be painful. Or it could just be really disappointing. Or really just like things aren't really going the way you would like for them to go. Or people aren't living up to their expectations, okay? You know, and so I do feel like you're going to be really disappointed in other people or in someone else in your life that just isn't rising to the occasion. They're not who they say they are.
So if this is a relationship, there may be an ending in a relationship, and it's painful because I think you've had this idea of them, and maybe they sold you on this idea of them too. So it's not entirely your fault. Then again, that goes back on that karma, remember, where I say sometimes bad things happen to us even though it wasn't our fault necessarily, or initially, or whatever. You know, and it's like you see them for who they truly are, and it's heartbreaking. And so there could be an ending, or just like a really just harsh realization when it comes to relationships. And it's like, what you do from here is entirely on you. So if you choose to stay with this person that has showed you their true colors, that's on you. Okay, you have to be ready for what it is you're accepting. Okay, you don't want to go in blinding, especially since you're here watching this video, and if this resonates with you, if you are experiencing this in the relationship, you really need to listen to what I'm saying. And I'm only saying that from experience. It's like, if you accept someone's bullshit because you love them, prepare for bullshit and love. Essentially, doesn't matter what relationship, parents, siblings, spouse, friends, whatever, best friends even, you know, sometimes we accept the bullshit of our best friends, right? And it's like, you know, whatever. Honestly, I haven't had a best friend in a very long time. I'm really lonely. No, I'm just a hermit, so it's whatever. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with not really having people around. But yeah, so that could be another thing. You could just be really distant from people. You don't want people around. You could just be going through something personally, and it's got you depressed. It's got you just feeling down, which is interesting because it's like October, we had like such a breakthrough, right? We had such a profound realization with our place in the world and the meaning of life, and there is no meaning, and that's what gives it meaning, and whatever, you know, whatever philosophy you want to stand on. You know, here comes November, and it's just like, on second thought, I don't know. So you could be going back on your word, in the sense that maybe, maybe there's a path you took, and you're realizing it's not the right path, or there's a relationship you started, you're realizing it's not the right relationship, whatever it is, could even be business, or just, I don't know, like there's just something here that just like, it sucks, man. Like, it's definitely not what you were expecting. Maybe some of you saw it coming or felt it coming, like intuitively. You know, it could even just be like, reality sucks. Like this shit actually sucks. You know? Like, you know what? Maybe you wake up from a matrix and it's like, actually, no, the world's on fire. And we just pretend it's not. But at the same time, it's like, the world isn't on fire. You know, it's like a weird dichotomy we live in. Like, I don't know if that's the right word, but like, it's like, there's so much bad in the world, and there's so much good. It's dualistic. The world's so dualistic, and like, Mother Nature is so unforgiving. Like, oh my God, like be for real, girl. Like, she could be really destructive, and like, violence is an everyday, an essential part of life. Unnecessary violence definitely is not, but that's the thing. Like, the earth is really violent, and humans are naturally really violent. I mean, the animal kingdom's viciously violent. Nature's violent, and maybe that's like another aspect of something you're experiencing. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully it's nothing like physical, like you're not experiencing any kind of abuse or physical violence or anything like that, or physical pain. If there is something serious, please seek professional help. Seek the help you need in that situation. Even like on a spiritual level, spiritual awakenings are fucking violent. Okay, you know, waking up your kundalini is a very violent experience. Okay, so violence can be on so many levels, right? It could be so many different things. You know, depression is pretty violent. You know, it's very destructive to the mind. Your mind actually changes shape when you're depressed. Like, there's something in your mind, I forget like what it was, but I've seen like the scans. I was watching a video, and they're showing how like there's a part of your brain that shrinks, or it expands, one of the two, and when you're depressed. And so it's just like, and when you're experiencing depression, especially when it's like deep depression, Not just like like a seasonal depression or whatever, where it's something more serious. It's like it is really hard to get out of that place. It is hard to rewire your brain, and that's literally what you have to do to get out of depression. And I should really take my own advice here. It's you have to rewire your brain to get out of depression. And the first time I got myself out of depression, it was through like spiritual awakenings. It was through a spiritual practice, and it was going on a spiritual journey for like consciously my first spiritual journey. Okay, I've always had experiences throughout my life, but this was like a conscious effort I did on my part. And you know, through that experience, I was able to heal and overcome. I felt the oneness with the universe. I felt the connection, and life was beautiful again. It wasn't so dark anymore. And it put me in a place that lasted, a mindset that was so calming and so peaceful, that lasted a very, very long time. Okay. And but when you don't continue that practice, spiritual awakening can last a long time. That peace, that enlightenment, that you could experience, it comes and it goes, and it shouldn't stay forever. At least with enlightenment, you don't want to stay in that mind. You don't want to stay up there for so long, because when you come down, you're gonna crash. But yeah, like once you get to that place and activate that, you can have that feeling and last a long time. It can linger for a very long time. And I'm sorry for yapping, but let's just keep yapping. And so, after a while, it's going to wear off, and then it is going to be hard. For me, for example, personally, it is hard to get back out of it because I haven't done that kind of practice in a really long time. So yeah, it is what it is. But so there's a message here with everything I'm saying, with all my yapping. I think we could go back on the karma part of August, where it's just like you kind of, in order to overcome bad karma, it's just to accept it and then clear it, however that looks. It's same thing with like depression. If you're experiencing that or anything related to such things, such feelings, such disappointments in life, you got to accept it and overcome it. And it's not about adopting some kind of spiritual fluff and being positive and love is the answer, and because love is not always the answer, trust me. That's crazy. Okay. There's, and I'm not gonna go into detail what I mean by that, but maybe you can think about that on your own. But anyways, and that's very controversial for me to say, right? So take it for what it is. I'm not going to explain it. But yeah, it's like you just, and it's not even just like, oh, well, it is what it is, and just kind of like be miserable the rest of your life. It's just, again, it's like this is just one aspect of reality. I don't know why it's so deep for you guys, but it is. It's a very deeply profound year for you guys. I mean, I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it, but Pluto's in your sign. Oh my God. I'm a Capricorn, so that was rough. Pluto and Capricorn was rough, man. Oh, you guys are in for it, man. You guys are in for it. 20 years. Pluto's in Aquarius for 20 years. All right, so I'm gonna be here with you holding your hand, okay, because I don't know what else to say. 20 years. We had it for like 16 something years, maybe 18. But like, I couldn't imagine like if another 2 more years of Pluto and Capricorn. Like, oh my God, as a Capricorn anyways. So yeah, I could see why this is such a big year now. When Pluto went into Capricorn, we had the recession. We had the housing crisis. And, like other shit went down. We can go on about it. But that was like what kickstarted it. When Pluto first went into Aquarius, we had the AI thing come up. Okay. And so this essentially, like, we're not in the age of Aquarius, but we're going to see a lot of age in Aquarius themes. So it's going to be quite interesting what's going to happen, because it is the age of like technology and like, I don't know, like that's a whole other video, but we're in for it for sure. So with Pluto being back in Aquarius, the beginning of the sign, it's always going to be such a powerful experience. You're gonna really, because I really went through it when Pluto first went into Capricorn. Fucking, oh my god, it was bad. Hopefully it's not bad for you guys, but it was bad, but it was deeply transformative. It was deeply I don't think it's gonna be as bad because Capricorn's the earth, right? Aquarius is air, so it's a bit different. It's a more or less an attack on the mind, and whereas in Capricorn it was attack like on control over people and government and like the self, like the physical. Whereas Aquarius, it's more mental. It's more the cosmos. I always relate Aquarius to the cosmos, like just like higher beings, the light, angels, stuff like that. So yeah, I think something in November is gonna happen that's gonna trigger all this. And I really don't mean to go on. This is so long, but like I don't know. Okay, I'm just reading. So yeah, I'm just gonna end it there because I'm just gonna keep going. But that's basically like November. It's I don't know. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Okay, so for December we got the Knight of Wands. So this is cool. There seems to be like a lot of stop and go shit going on this year for you guys. A lot of stop and go vibes. I feel like sorry, I got distracted. The Knight of Wands. This is Leo energy. I feel like December, it's another like go month. But I feel like in December it's like because in April I said that like from April on out it should be like things should be able to go, like things should be able to proceed forward, even though there is going to be some like stop and go. And it kind of seems like that. There seems like there was some stop and go, but it wasn't like it wasn't enough to like completely stop you. It wasn't a reversal. Okay, so you know how like how retrogrades, it's a reversal and it's always about like going back about something or something coming back. For you guys it's like it's not like a retrograde. It's just like if there's stop and go, it's just stop and go. Like you're not going in reverse by any means. And so December is a month where you're still pushing forward, but you're able to like really go forward. You're able to push even farther, I'm hearing. Okay, the bottom of the deck we have is a Six of Pentacles. Okay, so you are able to put yourself out there more. You're able to give more of your time and your energy to other people and to the world. Okay, I mentioned for November, Pluto and Aquarius is such a big deal, especially because it's going to be for 20 years. But like as it goes into the first few degrees, the first 5 degrees essentially of Aquarius, there's going to be a lot of things that come up. And Pluto likes to dig up. Okay, Pluto is a planet of the underground, the underworld, of secrets, of hidden aspects of yourself, things that we've repressed, things that have been suppressed, arising to the surface. And with Aquarius, it has a lot to do with the mind, the collective, the consciousness, the intellect of humanity. Okay, and so I feel like for you guys, because you're Aquarius, I don't see like reversals. I don't see you like reverting to old ways. I just see a lot of forward progress. Aquarius is definitely a sign that keeps going forward. It keeps moving. It's the planets are going to keep planeting. Like they're going to keep spinning around the sun. Like life goes on, right? And so Aquarius and Sagittarius kind of have the same vibe in that sense. That they are very like forward facing, future or goal orientated. Virgo can be that way too. Virgo's more goal orientated than like future orientated, whereas Aquarius and Sagittarius are very future orientated people. They look at the bigger picture. Okay. And Virgo looks at the bigger picture, but they look at every single little detail of that big picture. Like, it reminds me, Virgo reminds me of, you know, those pictures. I don't know what they're called, but it'll be like a picture of like someone's face, and when you get close, it's like a bunch of like little pictures that make up that picture. That's what Virgo is to me. That's such a funny analogy. That's so cute. I just made it up. That's like Virgo. Like, they are like that big picture, but when you look close, there's like, oh, there's like little pictures, and they're all different. Like, that's Virgo. Um, oh goodness, my screen went dark. Anyways, yeah, this is so fucking long. I'm so sorry. So yeah, like December is gonna be whatever I said is that's what's December is gonna be. Okay, I just keep going off on you guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, December is a month of of forward movement. It's a month of somebody's unstable here. It seems a bit unstable, but I think it's because there's a lot going on. Okay, it's definitely not a month for you to sit down and do nothing. Okay, it's a month where you know, because like look at the he's on the horse. The horse has 2 feet on the ground, 2 feet in the air, and the rider has all his feet in the air. So that's what December's gonna be like. Like, know that like there's 2 feet on the ground somewhere. Somebody's got their 2 feet on the ground for you. But you are kind of just up in the air, just going with it, and just kind of like, you know, you're the rider on the horse. You are directing the horse. Whereas poor Sagittarius, they are the horse. You know, you guys have some control over the situation of yourself, whereas Sagittarius is a bit more yeah, they're a bit more I mean, they're controlled, right? But like, we all know Sagittarius. I'm not going to get into it. So yeah, like, you guys have some control, but just maybe it's gonna feel like you don't, okay? But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know, if it seems like familiar to you. I feel like you're like it's familiar. This is Leo energy. It is your opposite sign, so it's familiar in that sense. It's like, yeah, I've been here before, you know, if you look at it like that. So I think things will come easy to you this month. I think a lot. I feel like there's not a lot in your way. I mean, you might push through in certain situations. You know, you might be a bit not so much like, not demanding. Maybe you are, because I'm hearing that, but like just kind of forceful. You kind of just force it, but it's not so much forcing it. You kind of just go. You kind of just head on. But not head on in like the sense that like you're just being destructive, like an Aries. Like, you're not just plowing right through. I feel like everyone's gonna get out of your way, essentially. Like, they see it coming, they see you coming, and so they're gonna get out of your way. So just know that too. Like, if you feel like you're gonna be doing too much in a situation, like, you're probably not. I think people are gonna get out of the way, so it's not gonna be like you're doing too much, okay? Because there's gonna be no one there to stop you, essentially. So I think that's all we're gonna read for December. I could go on, but let's not. Please, let's not. Okay, so that's what I got for you guys, and that concludes 2025 for Aquarius. Oh my god, this was like the craziest reading. I mean, I've had some crazy readings with the other signs, but you guys are so different, and rightfully so, with everything that's going on this year astrologically anyways. It's such a big year for you guys, and I am really excited to see what's going to happen. I just know for some of you it's going to be rough. Pluto in Aquarius is rough. Like I said, it's rough on people, you know. It was rough on Capricorns. I'm a Capricorn, so I could speak from that experience. You know, it's not easy, especially when Pluto crosses the sun sign. That might be a time when like you really contemplate death and your own death and like reality. You're gonna the themes of death are gonna come up, however that looks for you. And it's not so much, maybe you're gonna be scared. For some of you might get scared about that thought and idea if it's not something you're comfortable with already. So that's something you can prepare for, is to prepare for themes of Plutonian themes, rebirth, death, secrets, things under the surface. A lot of stuff that's under the surface is going to come up whether you like it or not, over the next 20 years, but more especially whenever Pluto comes into contact with anything in your chart. Okay, that's when you're going to feel it the most. And I would say more so when it's like an exact conjunction. Within 5-10 degrees, or even in the same sign, you're going to feel it. But when it's like right there, when Pluto's right there on that planet in a conjunction or in an aspect, that's when it's really going to be felt, because Pluto's so slow and it's a tiny ass planet, and they don't consider it a planet anymore, but I do. So it's for its size, it has a lot of weight. I will say that. Okay. So yeah, I can go on, but I'm not going to. Maybe I need to make fucking videos where I just yap about planets and shit. But anyways, yeah, so that concludes your reading. So I thank you so much for watching. I'm so sorry if this was really long for you guys, but I think there's a reason for it. Obviously, nothing I do is a coincidence. Nothing I say in a reading is a coincidence. Everything has a reason and a purpose. I wish you all the best, and thank you once again for watching. And it's been a fantastic opportunity to be able to read for you. So I thank you for your time and your energy and your space. So many blessings to you.